Hey guys, Crypto the Dog here. This is about take 127 of this video. I'm going to show you this software I found. It's my main trading software. You can use it for basically any strategy. It was based upon a strategy that a YouTuber named Quickfingers Luke created called the base break method. Well, he didn't really create it. I guess that's his main trading strategy, and he explains it pretty easily. So it kind of caught on. They created the software. It was named Crypto Base Scanner, and then they renamed it to Altrady. Why? Why did you do that? I like Crypto Base Scanner a lot better, but whatever. The mobile app, though, is still named Crypto Base Scanner. Anyway, so I'm going to show you that software today. That software used to basically, when it was Crypto Base Scanner, be just based upon that method. There weren't too many features, but there are new features coming out for this all the time. And now it competes with your bigger software like Coinigy, which I used to use, but I switched over to Crypto Base Scanner, now Altrady, and use it now every day. So I'll kind of walk you guys through it. I'm not going to go into the strategy very much in this video. This video is mainly to show you how to use the software. So this is my first video in a series of crypto trading videos, maybe a podcast too, definitely webinars. I'm going to start doing live trading daily. I haven't picked a time yet, but watch out for that. If you guys want to subscribe to my channel, as well as click the notification icon, you'll be notified when, I post videos and when I'm going live. My goal is, once I get my new computer set up, maybe I'll use this one if the mic doesn't sound too terrible. The mic doesn't sound nearly as good on this computer as it did on my previous one. But I'll either be getting a new computer or trying to fix the one that I broke the screen on for the second time. I don't know how I did it. I'll be doing daily trading. I haven't decided on a time yet. The problem I have is that there are people from all over the world that will be watching it, and so there's kind of not a time that's really convenient for anyone. The good thing about cryptocurrencies is they trade 24/7. So let's go over this Altrady software. So Altrady has two versions. It's got a web version and a desktop version, and they're both the same, with the exception that the desktop version will allow you to trade from the software itself. So you can place buy and sell orders inside the software. You can't do that on the web version. So depending on what you want to use the software for will depend on which one you want to use. Now, keep in mind that trading is only available on certain exchanges. It's not available on all of the exchanges they offer. So that being said, I do trade from my software. The good thing about trading from it is that the arrows will show up in real time without you having to import your trading history. And by arrows, I'm talking about these green buy and red sell arrows. That'll tell you where you entered a trade and where you close the trade, which can show you, how you're doing as far as your buys and sells go. So we're going to be using the desktop software, which looks exactly the same. I'm actually going to switch this to the default layout so that you guys aren't confused. When you launch either the website or the desktop software, you'll be greeted with this screen. Now, I do have some other charts open. I think it has BTC USD open by default. Maybe it doesn't have a chart. I don't know. But this is the default layout, okay? I didn't like the way these widgets were arranged, so I moved them around. The way you can move them around, this layout will be locked down here in the bottom bar. You have to unlock the layout. And then you want to select which widgets you want to display. If you don't want all of them displayed, you'll uncheck the ones you don't want displayed. Then you can start moving them around. So I don't like everything in separate widgets like this. So what I have done is I have added all my widgets below this. Now, I asked the developer if there's a way to export these layouts, and there isn't. So unfortunately, I can't give you a copy of mine if you like the way mine's laid out. You'll just have to recreate it. I basically attached all the widgets to this bottom widget right here. And you can do that by clicking this down arrow, and you can click join with another widget, and then you click which widget you want it to join with, and that will add it to another widget. You can also move widgets around by just clicking and dragging. And then it will say you're trying to edit the default layout, so it wants you to create a new layout. It won't let you edit the default, so we'll create new, and then we will call this test layout. Okay. And then you can drag, we'll drag the chart next to here, and we're going to add trading to join with this widget here. And we're going to add my orders. So now if you have a widget here that has multiple widgets, you can detach all of them just by clicking detach all widgets. You can also move these around by clicking move right or move left. So if you don't want them in whatever order they're in, you can change that. Now, I'm not going to spend all the time to move these the way I like it. Again, arrange it to how you like it, but I have my own layout that I like, which is this here. It's got basically all my widgets down here in this bottom bar, with the exception of the markets widget, which is over here. This will allow you to select your exchange, as well as whatever pair you're trading on that exchange. It gives you the basic info, the price, the 24-hour volume. So this is the value in dollars. So you can sort by volume. So like this, for example, BTC USD on hit BTC had $115 million in trading volume over the last 24 hours. And this will give you the current change in the last 24 hours. You can search for a coin by just clicking one of the parts of the coin pair. So if we wanted to search for Tron, we could search TRX, which is the symbol for Tron, and then choose whichever pair we're trading it with. If you click on the pair, it will automatically add the chart over here. Now these charts are based on TradingView's charts. They use TradingView's API, and so the same charts you get here are the charts you're going to get on TradingView. The only difference is with the indicators, you can't add custom indicators. So like indicators that you have saved as favorites in your indicators on TradingView, those aren't available in here. I wish they were. That would make it awesome, but they're not. You can create indicator templates and save it. You can also create chart layouts and save them. If you wanted to just save a certain set of indicators, you can save that in an indicator template. And then if you have a chart layout, like let's say you had support and resistance lines and things like that you wanted to save, you would save it under a chart layout. Now you can change, basically these settings work the same way as TradingView. You can also take a screenshot of your chart just like you can with TradingView. It'll give you the URL, or you can save the image. So you can share them however you want. So that's your basic layout. The difference, like I said, between the web version and the desktop version is the desktop version gives you this trading tab. So you can actually place trades right here with inside Altrady. That's something that Coinigy offered that I liked, and now Altrady offers. Next thing we're going to go into is the portfolio. So the portfolio, any exchange that you have set up on here under the API settings, so any exchange you've added an API for, it will show you your order history. Now, if you import your order history, then you'll of course get better results here, which I'll show you how to do in a little bit. You can actually import all your previous order history from your exchange. That way you get kind of more accurate graphs and things like that. This statistics tab on the left-hand side, this gives you some really cool statistics. So there's 3 different types of base setups that are automatically set up within Altrady. There's day trade, conservative, and position trading. These will give you the stats for certain exchanges. In this case, it's all exchanges are selected, and then certain base currencies for those exchanges. It will give you stats like the numbers of bases detected, The number of bases that crack below 3%, so they drop below 3% of the base. Your average drop for each base break. So this is saying that out of these bases that were cracked, the average drop was 9% and the average bounce was 12%. So you can kind of use that into your strategy. Like sometimes I'll look at it and be like, oh, well, the average drop on this coin is 9%. It's dropped 11%. It might be a good time to start laddering in if it's a coin that's in my certain criteria, because I won't trade every base break. I look for certain things, and I'll explain that in later videos. If it had only dropped like 5%, I may wait it out for it to get closer to this 9% before I start buying. Now, again, this is for all pairs. You can, of course, change that to just your exchange and just BTC and get statistics. So for just hit BTC, this will give you your top pairs. So these are the pairs that have the best stats for bouncing back up to their base. So this is the amount of base breaks that they've had and the amount of times it's bounced back to within 80% of the base. So as you can see, XRC has, every time it breaks a base, it has bounced back up to at least 80% of that base every single time. So these are coins you want to look at. Now the thing to remember on some of these is that it may bounce back up to the base, but it may take a long time. And I'll show you where you can view the stats on how long the average time it is to get back up to the bases. So you may, like, if, for example, if this coin, its average base break took 5 days to get back to the base, you may not want to trade that if that's outside of your trading, strategy. I'm a short-term trader, so I wouldn't trade necessarily a coin like that. I would be looking at a different coin or something. So this will give you your top pairs here all the way down. So all of these are ones that you'd want to look at. The success rate based upon the strategy, the alert strategy that is set up in Altrady. So the day trade has a higher success rate than the conservative, and I'll show you what those are in a little bit. But this just has a lot of cool stats, and then you can, of course, modify by volume. You can change the time frame. That's what that does. Here's the manual. This just takes you to the Altrady tutorial videos. And then here is your settings tab. This is where you configure all the exchanges you want to view, the currencies within those exchanges that you want to view, and you'll configure your API keys for your exchanges. So if you want to view your order history, your trade history, if you want to actually trade inside of Altrady, you'll need to set that up under these exchange API keys. Now, if you guys are interested, I can do some short tutorials on how to, for different exchanges, set up API keys within those exchanges. I won't go into that today. It's different for every exchange, but if you log into your exchange account, so either your Binance or your hit BTC or whatever, and you go into your settings, you'll see an option for API settings, and you can go in there and create an API key. It'll give you an API key and a secret, which you'll then click on this exchange API key. I'm not going to click on it because all my API keys will be there. But once you add an API key, in order to get alerts for it, you've got to subscribe to it over here. Otherwise, you won't be able to get alerts, and you won't be able to trade or anything else. So this is those rules that I was showing you on the statistics page. So your day trade, conservative, and position strategies. This kind of explains them. So the day trading is based on 1 hour charts. It'll alert you of most bases and the lowest drops. Conservative is based on 2 hour charts. It'll alert you of fewer bases and mostly higher drops. Then position is based on 4 hour charts. Those are preset setups. You can custom add alerts down here where, for example, I have set up on KuCoin that if any Bitcoin or ETH pairs with 5 BTC trading volume daily drop below 4%, it will send me an alert to my mobile or my desktop. You can add alerts just by clicking add, change your stats. You can change this to either USD or BTC. Some of these coins only trade with, you know, 1 BTC. Less than that. There's even some coins that you'll see that have $40 of trading volume a day. You want to stay away from those ones, but it's kind of all based on your comfort level as far as trading goes. So here's your global notification settings. So this is where you're going to customize what alerts get sent where. You've got your order alerts. You can sign up for push notifications or email. Life pro tip with email. If you're like me, I like to have text message notifications. And there's currently not an option for text message notifications. However, your carrier will have an email address specifically for your phone number that will send you a text message if you forward an email to that address. So what I did was I went into my email address in my account and I set it up to that email, which for T-Mobile, which is who I use, the address is your 10-digit number at tmomel.net. I set that as my email address for my, okay, I actually did it different. You can do it that way, where you set up your email address in here is that email address. Actually, the way I did it, now that I'm remembering, I went into Gmail and I set up a filter because it'll say like Altrady notification or Altrady alert or something in the subject, and set that filter to forward to that 10-digit number at that email address. But you can go in and set up your email address in here as your text message address if that's something you want. The reason I did it that way was because I don't always have data, but if you're in an area where you have voice and no data, you'll still get your text message alerts where you wouldn't get your push alerts from either your app or your email address. These are where you turn on your custom alerts, your base scanner alerts, things like that. You can set up authorized devices. You can also, if you're a Coinigy user, you can import your exchange data from Coinigy. You do that under this tab. You'll put in your Coinigy API, your secret, and then you'll add the API keys that are set up within Coinigy. So like if you have HIP, BTC, KuCoin, and BitMEX set up in Coinigy, you're going to want to import data for all that stuff. That will just import all your orders, things like that. This is the exchange import tab. So this will allow you to import your order history and everything from your exchange. You'll have to download it as a CSV or XLS file, and then you can import it here. So that will allow your graphs to be more accurate, things like that. And this is all just basic stuff. This will sync all your orders, so it doesn't auto update. I think it only updates when you open or close the app. I could be wrong, don't quote me on that, but I think that's how it works, so you can manually make those update there. Let's go through some of these widgets really quick. This widget called Bases, this will give you all the current bases that have been broken and how far below that base they are, as well as how long they've been below that base right here. And then their 24-hour trading volume and their success rate. So this is how often in the past they have broken a base and then bounced back up to it. So, for example, XBP and BTC, it's got, $4,000 trading volume a day. I would probably stay away from that one, but that's up to you. Its success rate in the past is only 33%, and its average drop is 4%, right? It's clear down to 15% right now. And its average bounce is 12%, but on average, that takes 9.75 days. That's kind of where I was telling you, you kind of got to decide how long you want to be in a trade and whether it's worth the risk to reward ratio, if it's worth your time. I can tell you in 9 days, I could make way more off more trades than I could make off this trade by staying in it for 9 days. So that's something you got to think about. So this will show you all the current bases that have currently been broken. These are the active ones. Then you can search for bases by exchange. So these are the exchanges that you have API keys for, that you have set up as active. So we could go to HitBTC. This will show you all the current bases for HitBTC. again, their 24-hour volume, their success rate, average drop, the amount of time it takes to get back to the base on average, and the average bounce, which is how far it bounces after it drops that average drop. So that's what those stats mean right there. So like this one is 61%, or I can't read that, 51% below its previous base, and it's been below the previous base for 25 days. But if you look, its 24-hour volume is 8 cents. So as you can see, some of these coins aren't traded. Now, if you want to filter out so you don't see like some of these low volume coins, you can click on this button right here and turn your filters on. And you can set up filters here to change what shows up there. So you'll set up your filter, click save, and it will modify, I don't want to save that. It will modify your list here based upon what filter you set up. You can also sort these without setting up a filter. You can sort by percentage, success rate, respected in, which is the amount of days it's respected in on average, which means the amount of days it bounces back up to that base, things like that, and then change it from ascending or descending. So that's the base widget. You've got the quick scan widget here, which you can set up a filter for the widget where it will scan for certain bases every so often. So what this is you can actually, there's something called a fat finger drop, right? A fat finger drop is something where a coin starts to drop and there's not enough volume, or I'm sorry, there's not enough current orders to cover a certain sale. So it makes this candle drop like crazy, not because a ton of people are selling it, it's because one order went through the whole order book really quickly. So if it's this will notify you of fat finger drops. Those ones are good to buy if you can get in on them, because they usually come right back up because it's one order that is creating that, not a ton of people selling off a coin. So you can set out notifications for fat finger drops here, and we'll kind of talk about that a little bit later. You have to kind of know how to read level 2 or the order book as far as that goes. We'll get into that. I do use the order book when I'm trading. I use volume, support and resistance, trend lines, basic price action, because these are retail traders. So you want to trade the way that they trade. Don't think the way they think. Think the opposite way they think, which I'll explain later. But if you understand basic human psychology, you can figure out what's happening and when's a good time to buy. So that's what the quick scan is. So you got my widgets that I have set up along the bottom. I've got the trading widget. This is where you can buy and sell orders. Again, you have to use the desktop app, and you have to set up your exchange API keys in here. This is your orders. It'll show you any orders you have open for markets you have set up here, or all markets. So if you have orders open on all markets, it'll show under there. This is the order book for the current coin. So this is your level 2 information. These are current trades that are happening. So you can see, when buy trades and sell trades happen and the amount. Market depth. This is your amount of sell orders in comparison to your amount of buy orders. This can be really helpful because you can see big walls when they hit, and which we'll get into that in strategies later. Again, this isn't a strategy video. Here's where you can set up custom alerts. You can set up an alert for a certain coin to rise a certain percent, drop a certain percent. You can set it to either a sound, you can add a sound, or it'll just go to whatever you have set up in that general alerts section. When you set up alerts, they'll show up under my alerts. Here's the break-even calculator. So what this does is if you have orders open on a current coin, it will tell you the price that you need to get out to be able to break even on that trade, which is really helpful because some of these coins you'll have, you know, in that draw, maybe 10 orders, and you don't know what price, because every time you're ordering, it's averaging down the price. So your price to get out at that point is probably down around here instead of clear up here, even though your first buy was right here. And this will tell you where your break-even price is. It'll give you your realized profit, which is your closed orders, and it'll give you your unrealized profit, which is the profit of your current open orders, and then it'll give you your net profit, which is, of course, the profit between the two. And this will tell you, like, basically how much BTC you have invested in that coin, how much you've recovered, and how much you've remaining to break even. Alright, so this is the base info calculator. So this number right here is the price in respect to the current base. So right now the price is 7.09% above the current base. This is the price of the current base, which is 254 Satoshis, which you can see that right here. This will tell you how long it's been below the base for. Right now it's actually above the base, so that says NA. This number tells you how long 90% of the bases in are respected. So for this coin, 90% of the bases are respected in 1.21 days. This number right here is the median drop. This number right here is the average drop from each base. And this is the average amount it bounces for the first time off a new base. This is the number of bases respected. So on this coin, 12 out of the last 12 bases have been respected. And this is the success rate. So what the bases respected means is that it fell below the base and went back up to reach the base. That's what that means. Here's a news tab. This uses Crypto Panic and Crypto Market Cal for its news. And then it will show upcoming events too for that coin. So that's all very helpful information. You want to keep an eye out for events and news because they can really affect all coins. These are all your basic trading tools that you have on TradingView. Your indicators here, templates, all that's standard. This uses the TradingView API, so you're using TradingView's interface right here. So this up here, this will show you your current BTC balance and your current USD balance. You can click on it to hide it. Click on it again, it'll show it. This shows any new alerts. When you go in here, it'll show any alerts. So if you have bases that have broke, it'll show that when the alert happened. Any custom alerts you have set up or any trades you have set up that have alerted, it will show there. And I think that is the basics of the software. They're constantly adding new features to it. So, I mean, this is way more features than they had when I first started with them when they were Crypto Base Scanner. It's really awesome software. And again, I use it for all my trading, whether I'm using this method or I'm using some of my other strategies. I use this software. It just makes it really easy and it's all built into one. So if you guys want a free trial of this software, click the link in my description. It's an affiliate link, but it does help support the channel. So if you guys could help me out there, that'd be great. I do have a list currently of about 30 videos long that I want to do, and that list just keeps growing daily. So I've got a lot more videos I'm going to put out, and like I said, I'm going to do some webinars, some live trading sessions. If you guys have any ideas on videos, put them in the comments. Tell me what you thought of this, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks, guys.